he just takes a little while to wind up when he hits his top speed. He just takes a few strides to get there, but once he winds up, he always finishes strong. And I could just see on the home turn, Chris, you nursed him around him 3 wide. It just took him about that 5 or 6 strides to really hit that top gear, and once he did, he really let down, and a fantastic performance. He's a lovely horse. John's done an outstanding job with him, and great drive to you. Well done.
Thanks very much. Yeah, he just was terrific tonight against some really good horses. Like I'd say, Mary Time's probably won more Metro races than this bloke's had starts, so to beat them, he's just done a really good job.
Yeah, look, he's come a long way, this horse. He's always showed to have an abundance of ability, and John was we're having a chat before the race. He was looking at probably giving him a bit of a break after this race tonight, and hopefully he'll measure up, taking up the next step as he comes back for his next campaign. But he's got all the ingredients to suggest that he can match it with the best, and as you mentioned, when you're beating horses of the calibre of Maori Time, you know that you're not too far off the mark.
Yeah, John's looked after him all the way through. Like he's winning the size final was probably the only time he got put in the deep end as a younger horse, but then he gave him plenty of time after that, and like that was done a fair bit of work early for the first few hundred, and he was still good enough. He probably got lost a little bit in front, but when the other horse came at him, he kept kicking on. He tries very hard.
And she's continued to she's been required to continue to step up because the races have got harder for her, and to win from barrier 7, posted out 3 wide early, doing your fair share of work and finding a second effort to come again and win, brilliant. Well done.
Thank you, Robbie. Yeah, you summed it up pretty well there. She just keeps stepping up to the plate. Like I keep saying, she's always been a good horse, but just lack of opportunities in Sydney saw it get pretty hard for her, and Ashley thought it would be easier for her down here, and she was right. I mean, it's not easy here, but it's certainly different to Menangle track, and this sort of suits her, this sort of racing. And look, she did a bit early. Thought I was in a bit of trouble getting in, but there was a bit of a gap, so lobbed on the back of the pretty good horse and got a good trail up after that. But she did it pretty tough in the last quarter and just keeps coming.
Well, what we do know, she's got amazing acceleration, amazing speed, and I suppose when you draw out 7 and you have to use that speed early and do a bit of work, the question mark always is there, will she be able to show the same acceleration at the end of her race? And she was able to do that, and obviously it's just shown how much she strengthened up over a period of time to maintain 2 runs in a race and perform at that level.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, pretty quality field there tonight. A lot of good horses in it, so it's going to be hard to win, and to do it in such good fashion just shows how such a good horse she is. San Carlo, to his credit, he's going to be a pretty good horse for the future. He didn't give it up at all. He kept fighting on, and TCB McRae was coming late, so she's in the finish there with some pretty nice horses, and has beaten them quite well, so pretty happy with that. And yeah, it gets harder from here obviously, but if she can run like that, she's going to be competitive in a lot of races.
Well, I think after she won her first couple for you, there was talk that she might be heading back to Sydney. And I know you mentioned that Ashley was looking at taking her back home, and the trip's extended a week and then 2 weeks, now a month, or maybe she might never make it way back home, Karen.
And now she said that you can have her as long as you want her, so it's a pleasure to have her, and I'm lucky to have got to train her, and that she's done such a good job for me. And I'd like to thank them for sending her down and trusting me with her. I know Ashley's this is her baby; she misses her terribly.
And well done to you.
Yep, thanks, Rob. It's terrific to win with this mare for like Duncan McPherson. I had another horse for him last year and he got bitten by a snake, and I had to ring him up and tell him his horse died, and he said, "Don't worry about it, keep your chin up, I've got another one in New Zealand for you," and he sent her over, so really glad I could get the job done for him.
Yeah, very special for you, and it's been a journey for yourself. You've had a great apprenticeship and went through some pretty hard times. I know you've fought your fair share of illnesses for a young lad. Spent quite a bit of time in hospital, and looked like there for a while things weren't looking too good, and you've been able to make your way back, and you've had great support, not only from your dad, but of course a lot of your family members and Matty Craven and of course Chris Lang and the whole team, Graham McDermott. Everyone's had a bite of Chris Finozio, and you got your own trainer's licence, training a few of your own, and to win this race, it must be a very proud moment for you.
Yeah, it's terrific, Dad, here, and yeah, like you said, I've worked for a few different people and been involved with a lot of people, and I did a lot of work with this girl's full brother, Aldebaran Southland, at Chris Lang's, and I watched all the work he did with Southland, and I think most of the time I've been working her, I was thinking, what would Chris Lang do? And that's all I've tried to do, and it's worked out.
This is probably one of your most proudest moments right now.
Definitely, it's a great night.
Yeah, it is. Well done, Chris, and I know you gave this horse a pretty good chance early in the night when we spoke to you, so congratulations to you.
These last few starts, I've been going home scratching my head, quite stressed about what the hell I'm doing wrong. The last few weeks, like at Maryborough, when he went good over the mile here when he just got done, and then we went to Maryborough Redwood Day, and look, and he jumped out going around the corner. But look, which is a little bit unlike him. But what do? You get a tough skin in this game.
Yeah, well, you've got to take the punches, don't you, at times, and especially when it comes to trotters. What you do know is deep down he's got a great motor, and it's about getting him right on the night. And I was sort of watching the race with Andrew Duggan not long after the start when he went past us, and I actually said to Andrew, I said, he looks like he's on the job, this horse, tonight, and you could just see the whole race. He was just travelling and wanted to be there.
Yeah, probably the last 3 weeks, he has... I baby him a lot at home. He gets hot washed and shampooed every second day, and the last 3 weeks I said to myself, I need to start treating this horse like an everyday horse, and I worked him different, changed his track work, started running him at home because he never normally has a run at home because he's never ever handled it. In the last 3 weeks he's just jumped out of the ground, had a few runs at home and trotted really good. Went to the trials on Sunday and went 29.2 down the back and 27.9 home, and on trial morning that's not going too bad. Look, he had to do a fair bit of work to get to the front tonight, so I'm pretty happy. He's finally broken 2 minutes, so I'm happy about that as well. But he's just been going really good.
Good on you, Brad. And you kicked for home down the back, opened up a bit of a margin, and we know that when he's on song, he keeps going, and he certainly ran to the line strong.
Yeah, he did. Look, and I expect the horse... He's still not 100% fit yet. Like, I think he's about 95, 90%. But the fitter he's getting, just the more improvement he's showing at home. And look, it was just one of those seasons. Like, I think that 11 starts for the season. He got sick and got his leg stuck in a fence. Just one of those seasons. Nothing really panned out the whole time. But in saying that, a lot of people tell me that a good 2 and 3 year old trotter, their 4-year-old season's always the hardest because they've had so much hard racing. So look, having a soft season for his 4-year-old is probably a good thing in the next season. Hopefully it just keeps improving from here.